Greetings, Carl Shepard here, checking in for my episode 22. Breaking news, there's nothing written on any of these pages. Just playing around with scenery here. I was thinking about maybe talking about discipline today, trying to dive into that and just see where it takes me. Why is discipline so important? What is discipline and how is it best applied in day-to-day life and in your mindset? Why is discipline important to me? I would say because it is a constant reminder that I am not, my first instinct is not always right, okay? And my impulses, my urges, my first thoughts, the things that I would like to do, they do not lead me to my best self. And your discipline is basically a structure that you create inside your head that is a reference. It's a frame of reference, right? So that you can bounce your own ideas off of some other thing inside your head. So for example, let's say that you wake up in the morning and you get up and you're like, man, I do not feel good. I do not feel like doing the things that I'm responsible for today. That's when your discipline can kick in. And your discipline can tell you, wait a second, no shit, you don't feel like doing the things that you're responsible for doing today. I'm pretty sure no one does, at least not all the time. But what kind of person am I? Who am I? What defines me? What kind of character do I have? What kind of character do I want to express into the universe? And these are the things that will help you get through those moments. This is extremely important because if you are comfortable with your character being down here and you're comfortable with some kind of ideology that does not promote discipline or does not promote personal responsibility, then you have a list of problems that are going to continuously come up. And you're going to be wondering why the cycle's continuing to repeat itself. And you're going to find a lot of excuses, and you're going to figure out how to blame a lot of different factors, a lot of different people for the problems that are really just your own because you don't have any discipline. So, this is the kind of dialogue, this is the kind of thought process that I'm comfortable. And I'm comfortable speaking to anyone listening like this because this is how I treat myself. I would never, ever, ever ask anyone to do anything that I wouldn't do. I'll never, ever present a point of view or a perspective that I haven't well thought out and that I don't practice myself. And so this is really easy for me because discipline is basically what my entire life revolves around. Like, no, I don't necessarily feel like doing all the things that I do on a daily basis. When I've got an infant son right now that, requires almost constant attention. So it's a really good example. Do I feel like dropping what I'm doing every couple of minutes or something to go over and to appease him, to keep him from crying, to, interact or whatever? Do I feel like, cutting out all these really enjoyable things from my life, going, this month or whatever without smoking, or, going the last 2 years without drinking alcohol, ready to do at least another 8 just to get a decade under my belt? For what? For who? For me, for my character, because that's the kind of person that I want to be. And it requires real actions in real time. And the most important moments in your life are when you're by yourself, when you have no accountability whatsoever. Okay, when you know you can get away with whatever you're thinking about doing, that's when it really matters. Because it's not going to last, and you're not going to be right all the time. There's going to be a time, I promise you, where you'll be pretty convinced that whatever you're getting ready to do, and trust, if you break your discipline one time, it's easier to do it again. And if you get in a pattern and you get really good at hiding something or going against your discipline. Or maybe let's say that you just create your entire social network and social structure. They call it an echo chamber around people that just allow you to, you know, not be trying to constantly bring out your best self. It's going to show its face. At some point or another, there's not going to be any way around it. Okay? And yeah, you can continuously just keep saying your same song and dance. You can keep saying, oh, well, it's not my fault. I'm a victim. It's my gender. It's my race. It's my socioeconomic, no money. It was my parents. I've got a bad past. You don't know me. You don't know my struggles. Well, that's true. That's all true. It sucks, man. We landed in some crazy place in this world, and there's a lot of stuff we can't help. There's a lot of stuff we can't help. But, it's our job to not get hung up on the things that we can't change. It's only, we're only able to change certain things about our day-to-day life or our existence. The things that we have control over are the most important things. And your personal discipline is the number one thing you've got control over. No one can force you to make the wrong decision. At the end of the day, you made that decision. Okay, it was hard, I know, it was difficult. I did not want to quit drinking. I knew I needed to. I knew that it would be the right thing and it would lead me to a better version of myself. I said I was going to quit drinking and still drank for a while. I would literally, like 4 years ago, I would tell people, yeah, I'm quitting drinking and I'm on this whole like self-betterment kick and blah, blah, blah. The whole time in the back of my head, knowing the next time I was going to be just alone enough to where I could probably get away with it. Not exactly the way I wanted to, but just enough to like keep that weird fucking part of myself barely alive. Looking back on it today, not only does that make no sense whatsoever, but I can't even possibly imagine how those type of behaviors are possible. Yet I've got the memories. I've got the memories of it, and people in my life back then considered me one of the most disciplined people they've ever known. Even then, I was getting down, working real super hard, working out all the time, so on and so forth. But inconsistencies, hypocrisy, it's always there. It's always there. Even today, even right now, I think to myself, man, well, what could I change? What could I do better? What could I get better at? And if I think, I can always come up with something. I deleted Fortnite off my phone yesterday, and I totally rearranged my whole house because I had been, allowing this lack of discipline to, be part of my son's life, and therefore, part of my life. We would trash the house, and I'd let it stay trashed for a day, 2 days. I would make the excuse of, oh, maybe I don't even need to clean perfectly until we have people over, or, oh, I can just leave all these dishes and I'll just wait until it's like necessary before I knock it all out. Or, oh, there's just always something. Like right now, I haven't folded my own clothes yet. Like it's, I've just gotten to the point where I'm not living out of a clothes basket. Okay, I clean them and I wash them and then I sort them. A long time I was living out of a basket. Well, I've got drawers. I've got all kinds of drawers. I've got drawers I don't even use. But I wasn't using any of them for a long time. And now I finally got to the point where I'm sorting my clothes and putting them in the drawers and then pulling from them. But they're wrinkled. All these little examples. I mean, some of this stuff, people say, oh, that's small potatoes. But, you know the ones that are relevant to you. So we don't have to get hung up in the weeds there. But discipline is the most important thing. I mean, really, like, I know there's a lot of people out there these days, because this starts making me think about religion, honestly, because religions, whether the meat and potatoes of it is true or not, the fact of the matter for sure is that it is the human being's most conscious and, society's most conscious effort to share their philosophies on discipline. Okay, what is a religion other than how to live a daily life, how to live your best life to promote and bring out your best self, not only for you, but for the greater species, for the society, for you, and then for your family, and then for your extended family and super close friends, and then acquaintances, local community, and then what? State, federal, world, whatever. Like, without that bedrock, without a culture, without a society that shares a set of common values, what are we gonna do? It's impossible. There's no way to live a cohesive existence in a thriving society without a shared set of not just objective truth either, because there is objective truth, people. Okay, physics exists, science to a certain degree. It's never settled, but Newton's laws, Einstein's laws, Price's law. I mean, there's stuff out there that we can test and retest and test in many different scenarios under many different circumstances, and it's going to come back with predictable answers. And those are objective truths. And then there are subjective truths, right? There are truths that people would really love to believe are objective, that are, all encompassing, but they're not, okay? That's where religion falls. Sadly as it is, none of that's provable. So, whatever your ideology is, that is subjective. It's you. It's what you personally believe. And then there's this other type of truth where it is truths that are socially recognized to be truths, common knowledge, norms, whatever. And those change over time, people. And as uncomfortable as some of that stuff might be, we have to change over time. We have to continue bettering ourselves, because for the people that want to try to keep everything the same and they want to, be really careful about how we do move forward, that's fine, because we need your personality types, okay? We don't want to just, red line it and push the gas pedal down, because at some point, if you do need to make a turn, if you're going 90, that turn's not going to be very easy to make. So I appreciate the conservative types out there. I am a naturally conservative-minded person. I think survival of the fittest, and, if you're not fit to survive, if you're not a survivable type of human being, then, maybe, maybe life shouldn't be so great for you. Maybe that we should have a certain cutoff point where we do not take care of people that put that on themselves. Now, I'm not saying, in the situations where it truly, honestly is outside of someone's control, and we have to have safety nets. Like, I get that. I'm really pulling back on all that stuff, and I've got a lot of progressive type thought process. I'm to the point now where conservatives consider me a liberal, and liberals consider me conservative. Like, I'm right in the middle. I love it. But you just got to keep challenging yourself, because the thing is if you believe that the way it is right now is perfect, then, or the way it is right now is the way that it should be, that is super arrogant. It is, it's dangerous, because that's the exact same thing that your same demographic of people have been saying the whole time. Oh, it's legal. Oh, it's legal, so it's okay to do X, Y, Z, or oh, this is illegal, so it's not okay. Okay, laws change, culture evolves, and we need to not fight the change. We just need to try to, steer it through some of the more radical stuff, because with the internet and with all this open borders talk and with all these cultures just shoulder to shoulder now fighting over these resources, it's not infinite resources out there, people, and it's not infinite anything. Okay, we live on this planet. It's a finite amount of energy that we can produce per day, and we are not scientifically advanced enough to bring on this utopia that people think is a chance during our lifetimes. Okay, we got way too many struggles ahead of us for y'all to be getting that far down the road. Okay, in America, we're real safe. real safe and real comfortable, and that gives people the ability to really think outside the box. And so we've got a lot of people out there right now that are thinking really far outside the box, and that's fantastic. Okay, but bring it down a notch. let's let's have these grandiose ideas, and then let's very carefully and very slowly on the local level start testing some of these theories out. Okay, we got Andrew Yang, for example, that's wanting to test some sort of universal basic income out on a few people to get some data. That's smart. Not because I believe in that stuff, because maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'm not getting into that kind of that. I'm not going to get into opinionated politics stuff here. This is just an example. Small set. We cannot make these radical changes across the whole scope of society because it's too fragile. It's too fragile. Just like in your own personal life, if you try to go cold turkey off of something that you've really been using for a long time to keep yourself balanced, that balance is not going to stay. It's going to fleet. It's going to go. It's going to go away. And what's left is going to be chaos. And that's why these tiny little small incremental changes and lots of testing and lots of deep thinking, practical thinking, rational thinking, being pragmatic is incredibly important. Okay, what feels good is almost never the right thing to do on any level. Okay, being struggling and being uncomfortable is far more likely to lead to success. If you're a person that is just dead set on trying to just be super comfortable around all the different, you only want to be around people that make you comfortable, if you want to only put yourself in situations that you're super comfortable and super confident inside, and you only want to take chances that are barely even chances because it's pretty much a sure thing, you're not going to grow. You're probably going to survive, and you might even thrive in this society, just sadly, because of the way it's set up right now, but I doubt it, and it's not going to last, and you're never going to be happy. You won't be happy. You're going to just keep going on from, one accomplishment or success to the next, and anytime there's any scent of failure, you're just going to be prepared to drop it and run. And it's that failure that will lead you to the best version of yourself. It's what's the quote that I love the most? Or I don't love it the most, but one that I've been using recently is you must be willing to be the fool before you can become the master. Something like that. There's another one that's really cool. That's if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't. You're right. Okay. I don't know. I'm just throwing quotes out there, but this is important. I mean, I'm just going on because that's kind of what this project is all about. But this is helping me, fine tune my articulation. It's helping me kind of figure these things out so that the next time through, I can be a little bit more on point, be a little bit more polished. These are reps, just like being in the gym. This is something that's just going to help me get to my better self, and being able to do this and being able to then turn around and watch it, and then turn around and humbling myself and putting it out there for whoever, and leaving it out there for who knows what way later. Let's see how well this all ages in time, and maybe I look back on it after I have really developed some serious skills, and it's probably going to be embarrassing. Who knows? I haven't even tried to fix any of the redness in my nose. I've had a lot of backdrops that were, even this, I'm just testing it out. I have no idea. Messing up this page, I was thinking, one of these days I'm going to write some scripted stuff. I don't know if that's going to make it into this video, because part of this process is the necessary authenticity of just the spoken word. I'm just literally working on that aspect of it. Probably tomorrow morning I'm going to go in and do 20.2, the CrossFit Open workout. I'm definitely not like super at my best for this. My knees are pretty tight and banged up from jiu-jitsu. I've been doing knee slides and landing funny here and there, but there's this thing called the thrusters. It's dumbbell thrusters in this workout. You'll see it because I do plan on videotaping it, but you only have to do 4 of them at a time. So I should just be able to crank those out, and as long as I don't, you know, go nuts and try to hurt myself, then I should be fine. It's gonna be a good workout. It's gonna be a good one. And then I ate quite a bit today. I've been giving myself a lot of grace on the eating thing. I mean, I eat clean food. It's really all stuff that I cooked and everything, but it's still just a lot calories wise. I feel really confident that weigh-in's going to come around here in another week or so, and a little more than a week, and I'll be right on point. So that's going to be fine. I have been drinking coffee. I have been drinking aminos. I have been taking fish oil and emergency, and I've done some pre-workout, almost never before jiu-jitsu, but usually before some kind of CrossFit thing. Like tomorrow morning for sure when I go in, I'm going to start drinking coffee probably 6 o'clock in the morning, and have at least, probably 2 cups at least, if not 3 drank by the time I drink my pre-workout. A lot of water, definitely a breakfast meal in there beforehand. Something, carbs and fat, a little bit of protein. I usually try to take my protein more low protein food in the early part of the day, and then ramp it up to like high protein at night, because I feel like that the digestion of the protein later in the day will produce better like recovery and results, because it's muscle, whereas the carbs and the fat kind of that's what your fuel and that's what your energy is. It's part of recovery as well, but not as much as protein, I'm pretty sure. It's been working for me, so that's probably some pretty good information. If that was new to you, then 40-30-30 zone diet. Start there. Google that and just start trying to live it. It's tough. I'm completely off the intermittent fasting thing now. I'm not even. I mean, I will do like a fast here and there. That's actually a really good idea. I have been meaning to do a fast this week or sometime during this project, so gotta keep that on my radar. As for my mood, I woke up in a great mood. I've really done well to interact positively with people all day. I went after I picked up my son. We went to the store and I bought one thing, and that was flowers for Stephanie, my wife. That was a good step towards my resolve to really try to do my best this week to, be there for her and just try to, send her off to work, really appreciating the family and feeling good about everything. So that's cool. It sucks she's going back to work on Wednesday. I thought it was Thursday. So literally tomorrow's her last off day. That's insane. That sucks. But, it is what it is. That's part of identity. The thing about her is that, her work, her job, that's her career, and that's a huge part of her identity. So, even though it sucks to have to go there, it's like, that's who she is, and she does a really good job, and she makes a difference in a lot of people's lives. So that's got to feel good, and I love supporting her and what she's doing right there, because it's fantastic. And as for sleep, man, it's like probably 10:30 right now. I feel rested. I don't feel like I'm behind on my sleep. I could probably use to get some more sleep, and I definitely need, especially within the last week before this competition, I should try to double down on that. But I'm not getting behind on my recovery. I'm not having any adverse side effects yet from any kind of sleep deprivation. I'm in the good zone. I might be using credit up, or whatever you want to call it, from when I was getting better sleep, but right now, no side effects whatsoever, no adverse feelings of, having lost sleep or anything. Let's see, I don't know, yeah, that's it. I just wanted to ramble about something, and that was good. Discipline is super important. Discipline is what builds character, and processing our life experiences is part of building wisdom and knowledge. Like you learn things and you absorb information from people and you collect it, and then you have life experiences. The bad ones are really important and the good ones are pretty important, but your failings is really where you gain your wisdom. So when positive things happen, when negative things happen, when you're living your life just to live an examined life, you kind of need this process of kind of rehashing. A lot of times throughout a day, like, every once in a while, I will re-go over my interactions and the things that I've been up to just within the last couple hours. Like, I just keep a running tab, like, okay, how was that interaction I just did, or what was said, or like trying to relive it in my mind, like actually go through and re-visualize my experiences when I was in a group of people. You'd be surprised, but if you start doing that, you will re-notice things after the fact. You'll be like, that person's body language was a little off, or why did they word that the way they did, or whatever. And through processing your life on that basis, not only do you hold less grudges and resentment and worry and doubt and all these things, it kind of helps level you out and balance you, but you also begin to understand people on a higher level, and that builds wisdom. I'm a firm believer that if you can't talk about your whole past, if you can't kind of speak on everything, not like you need to shout it from the rooftops, or not like it's important to really get your story out there. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that if there is an aspect of your life that you can't speak on without like emotionally breaking down, or if there is some sort of collection of words out there that you can't hear, some kind of perspective out there that you can't hear without just being completely emotionally triggered and thrown completely off, you need to spend some time listening to it. You need to just temper yourself. You need to, what tempering is? Tempering is like when they take a piece of hot metal and they hammer on it, and then they put it back in the heat. They pull it out, and then they hit it in a different direction until it cools a little bit more, and they put it back in the heat, and they flip it back around and flatten it back out the other way. And what it's doing is it's breaking all the loose stuff off, and you eventually just get like the hardest, most dense metal. That's how you make a blade. It's called tempering. Well, guess what? Works for people, works for personalities like that as well. You got to beat yourself up physically, mentally, emotionally. You got to take in uncomfortable information and sit on it and figure out a way to be happy. And if you do that, you are going to find success, or success is going to come find you. You're going to figure out things. You're going to see patterns and pieces of puzzles and stuff that you cannot believe are sitting right in front of your eyes this whole time. Yeah, I don't know. It's decent. I'm trying. This is my first try at all this, as you know. Obviously, this is episode 22 of this, my very first attempt at doing any kind of content whatsoever. So, well, I've made a couple military highlight videos and done a few little projects before this, but nothing that involved myself like this, nothing that was so intimate. So, I'm getting close to 30 minutes. I'm just going to cut it off here. This has been a hell of a ramble. I touched on my framework of fitness, sleep, mood, and diet. And I rambled about discipline and how important it is. And please just break your bubble. Break it. Pop it. Get out. Do something that you don't think you can do. Something that maybe you've always wanted to do. Or something, just something you have no idea about. Just do something different. Because that's what life's all about. Alright. Good night, and I will see you again tomorrow.